This is what happens when you go 7 days on nothing but water. I lost facts, erased anxiety, rewired my brain, and got more dates, all by not eating. Back in 2020, I did my first 3 day fast, and I ended the year with a 7 day fast. So I didn't eat any food, any calories for 7 days, just salt, magnesium, and sparkling water, 0 calories. Okay. I wanted to reset my mental health. I was suffering deeply emotionally. And then in 2021, I continued with the practice, doing lots of fasts and eventually cooled it down. So, heads up, I'm not a doctor. This isn't advice. I'm just sharing my experience. Do your own research and make your own decisions. Okay. So, I went from about 94 kilos, which is roughly 207, 8 pounds, and I lost about 14 kilos or about 30 pounds in 7 weeks. Okay. So most people think that they'll starve after a day without food, and that's simply not true. You feel hunger, yes, but you can get through it. So I felt waves of mental clarity, peace, and even euphoria. By day 4, my physical energy had dipped, but my mental clarity was razor sharp. I felt more alive and vibrant. The hunger, it comes in waves, it's not constant. But if you aren't fat adapted, the first 1 to 2 days are rougher. And that was true for me at the start. But now, usually it's the opposite. The earlier days are easier than the later days. So yeah, I was hovering around 93 to 94 kilos, again, 207 pounds roughly. And after the 7 day fast, I never went above 88 kilos or about 195 pounds. And now I stay around 83 to 85 kilos without trying that hard. The comfort eating I used to do all the time, the habitual craving and eating, that's much, much less than it was. It's almost gone. I essentially am more intentional with my food, and that's felt much more effortless after this bout of doing fasting. Okay. So most people feel like they're gonna starve, and it's just not true. You're not gonna die after 24 hours. You're not gonna instantly lose muscle. I lost 14 kilos in 7 to 8 weeks with lots of fasting, and that's about 2 kilos a week, 4 pounds a week. And my deadlift actually went up. So I went from doing 180 kilos trap bar deadlift for 18 reps to 180 kilos for 22 reps. Now, those are some elite numbers. And yeah, I lost a fuck ton of weight in this time. Um, so while you do this, your body preserves muscle. It increases the human growth hormone in the body, and it burns fat first. And it actually uses the old proteins. So, but don't trust me. Look this up. Do your research. Look at the evidence. In terms of the hardest moments, I'd say each fast has its own challenge. The first time was just the smell of the foods. I mean, I could smell things from like down the streets, the dreams, just dreaming about food, and it was so intense. I was waking up quite a bit, just like feeling hungry. The social pressure, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Um, so yeah, in the beginning, it was like all these constant thoughts of foods in different ways, and this like just huge craving. This whole 7 day fast, it felt like a huge step into the unknown. The doubt was real. I was questioning whether this is really possible, right? And now it's hard to go above 3 days, but I remember I was doing these trap bar deadlifts, and I think on the first day 1 or day 2 of the fast, I'd done about 10 reps at 180 kilos. And then on day 4, 100 hours in, I had done 10 reps again. And I was like, holy shit, like I'm still so strong. I hadn't eaten in over 4 full days, and I was still like repping out some serious numbers. So that just like shattered my mindset, right? Now the biggest benefits, like I mentioned, was the mental and the emotional preset. So I used to suffer a lot from intense anxiety at times. So it helped me bring that baseline of level of anxiety down permanently. So these days, when I feel burnt out or anxious or stuck, I fast. Okay. And within 24 to 36 hours, the anxiety levels drop down from, like, let's say an 8 out of 10 to a 3 out of 4. It's kind of like taking medicine, like anti anxiety meds. Okay. But natural. Fasting has also felt much like an antidepressant. I felt happier after fast. I felt more like it in at peace. Now, don't get me wrong, it is uncomfortable, um, but it's freeing. It feels very emotionally freeing, and I don't know the exact science behind this, but fasting does it's a process called autophagy where it uses up old proteins in your body, and yeah, it just basically like heals your body. This happens even if you do shorter fasts of like 16 to 18 hours, just at a lower rate. Right now, after a recent fast I did a 48-hour fast recently. I was feeling much better afterwards, just much lighter, like I had a mental reset and, a couple of days break, and then I got back into it and I was feeling very productive. Now, the other benefits include breathing. Breathing gets easier, the mind is sharper, your mood. Um, I think it's very good character building. So being able to hold back your instinct to eat, like whatever cell in your body is craving it, that develops a strong resilience to pressure. The way I saw it was like going 7 days without food didn't make me weaker. It made me dangerous because now I know I can survive what most people are afraid to even attempt. So getting into the supplements, okay, you can. I drank sparkling water, quite a lot of it. You can drink normal water, that's fine. Black coffee. I've got some Vietnamese Arabica here. Magnesium, very important. Salt. This is just regular sodium chloride. You could also do something like tea or green tea, like anything that's calorie free, basically. I'd probably avoid something like Coke Zero or energy drinks because they've got sweetener, but I mean, it is what it is. You can also take a multivitamin, and most importantly, you should also take a supplement with potassium. So, potassium chloride, you can buy, depending on which country you're in or where you're at, you can get light salt or no salt. So, yeah, these electrolytes are essential. If you skip them, you're going to feel like absolute shit. Okay, so make sure you drink this. I don't have exact guidelines, but I think I consume roughly about a 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt a day, and it tastes fucking disgusting. But this sometimes the magnesium has artificial sweeteners and stuff, so sometimes it masks the flavor. But just man up and just drink the salt. So I tend to fast nowadays about a couple times a year. Quarterly would be optimal. But yeah, I guess I kind of like burnt myself out a bit in 2021 doing all these fasts. So the biggest surprise, and maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but the first few times I broke a water fast, food tasted orgasmic. The first time I was eating curry and I was like, holy shit, like it was just like an explosion in my mouth, an orgasm in my mouth, like honestly. But that's not as good as seeing you hit that subscribe button. So if you're enjoying this, tap the subscribe button. No. So nowadays, actually, where the after the first handful of fasts, eating becomes underwhelming. I don't know what it is, but food started to feel normal again, like even anticlimactic. Like you had that first bite, and it's kind of like it kind of feels weird, right? And in the day after fasting, food can taste off. I don't know if that's just like the palate resetting or your body cues or what. Um, but yeah, after fast, like hunger feels you'll feel like you want to eat kind of a bit more the next day, and you'll get full. Like your stomach will feel full after like a third or half of the meal, but then you're gonna be hungry like 2 hours later. So it's quite interesting. Um, but yeah, like your relationship with food does change, and when you do eat something like carbs, your insulin sensitivity is just like improved so much. So you eat and you have all this like huge fucking rush of energy. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, just to touch on a bit more of the like emotional benefits. So during the fast, it was healing in a sense that I feel like I could let go of so much emotional weight. So I felt powerful, like I was dropping all this baggage. I was feeling lighter, Like, just like my mind was like, it didn't feel as sticky. Like things were just like things were only bothering me, and I was like, I don't know, like upset at myself for this and that, and I just felt way clearer, right? And I was kind of going out and approaching women, and during this 7 day fast, like funny thing was, I think I went on dates with like three of the girls from those 7 days. So I was just having this like magnetic energy where I was just flowing. I was just more present. I was just more clear. Um, yeah. So that was quite an interesting like thing to notice, just like how I was interacting with people. I must have been much more relaxed. Now, I also started to feel more connected to God. So I actually felt presence of God, and a lot of religions actually practice fasting, like the Muslims do Ramadan, where they don't eat from dusk till dawn. Uh, Christ fasted for 40 days. So Moses fasted for 40 days. So yeah, there's a lot of like religious, like spiritual benefit. It's kind of like God was like playfully showing me things in my life. It's like, how did you not notice this before? And you just feel this more like inner connection. It's hard to describe in words. Like you'll have to try it and see for yourself. Um, Funnily enough, during one fast, I was hearing my inner voice, getting this pull to try being vegan and like ethical reasons and whatnot. So I did it for 6 months in the end, but yeah, I chose not to continue. So I do notice on fasts I have like creative breakthroughs as well, mental clarity, like things in my life just kind of click a little. Or I come to some realization. Sometimes these are bigger, sometimes these are like smaller. Um, just depends. So I also feel like with fasting, you could get a lot of the same benefits from doing intermittent fasting, like one meal a day, or Body's famous 16 hours, 16-8 fasts. Honestly, I'm never stuck to any of those long term. You do get autophagy and you do get the same types of benefits. From the research I've done, the autophagy is much deeper and a 72-hour fast. So that's the recommended duration. Now you could also do both, right? You could also do 16-8 and do like a long fast every once in a while. Now just like all these mental benefits, physical benefits aside, it's really good for losing weight. Like I lost a ton of weight and I kept it off. And a lot of people lose weight with water fasting, and it's a healthy approach. Okay. So if this video struck a chord with you and you're ready to take your mental clarity, discipline, and energy to another level, I work one-on-one with guys who want more than just a diet or dopamine detox, guys who want to reset the mind, reclaim their edge, or operate from power. And I'm not just talking about fasting, I'm talking about other self-development habits and challenges, whether that be fitness or no fap or just staying consistent through life challenges. So yeah, drop me a message on Instagram or check a link in the description and we'll chat further. Okay. Now, that's pretty much it. The 7 days without eating totally rewired my mind. It was one of the most profound experiences of my life. And I've done some interesting things, but this was like probably one single top two or three single events that were really profound and really intense and really like mind bending and reality shifting. So, yeah, I do recommend trying something like this. You don't need to go straight into 7 day. You can do 2 days, 48 hours, 72 hours. Just make sure to take your electrolytes, drink your salts,